All right, what's going on? You guys are listening to the Kinobody channel, and I have a very, very special guest. I have Ed on the call, and he's actually been on the Warrior Shredding program since around September, I want to say.
September 3rd, to be exact.
And so we're going to learn all about his story, his results, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool takeaways you guys can kind of walk away with. So just first off, man, how are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm good. Weather's a little miserable today. Been raining all day, but everything else good to go.
Yeah. So where are you calling from? Where do you live?
Man, I am just north of you. I'm in Richmond Hill.
No way. You're in. Okay, crazy. That's so funny. So actually,
I've caught a few of your vlogs, and there was one vlog. You were down at Eglinton and Young, and I'm thinking, holy cow, the old neighborhood.
Yeah, that is. Oh my God. So what are the? So you're like 15 minutes from me. That's or 20 minutes, whatever. That's crazy. So cool. So like just to give people some perspective, you started following the Warrior Shredding program in September. What kind of stuff were you doing before then? Like, why did you want to change your program all of a sudden? And kind of give some kind of like some context there.
Yeah. Well, I've tried many routines. I've tried 5x5. I've tried the German volume training. Always been on the stronger side, but never able to dial into nutrition. So the balance of strength, size and nutrition, cuts, getting lean, just could never do it. And earlier in the year, I actually had an online trainer and fitness coach try and help me out. And he put me on a program that looked like a decent program. It was a 4-day split. Lots of training, right? 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on. Upper body, lower body, day off, upper body, lower body. And then the nutrition program he had me on was pretty much low-cal, no doubt about it. Eat your 6 meals a day, right? Your 6 small meals. Go throughout the day feeling hungry in between meals. And the other thing he did on my rest days away from the gym, he had me on carb cycling. So he had me going low carb. So on my off days, I was literally taking in 75 to 100 grams of carb.
Yeah, that's not fun at all.
No. So you know what? I was losing the weight, no doubt. I was slimming down, but the weight was coming off, but I was getting weaker. Mm-hmm. So the strength gains weren't coming. I was actually going the other way. And then to the point where, I incurred a couple of injuries along the way. I don't know if I blame it on the, man, I just took a long pause away from all of it, So I went through the summer pretty much not in my best shape, and then kind of woke up, let's say July. And I've always known about your stuff. I've seen your videos on YouTube.
Okay.
But never really, gave it enough attention. And then I ended up catching one video of yours, and you're with another guy named Radu.
Yeah.
It's based on superhero, right? How to build that superhero body, right? The 5 keys or the 10 keys.
The 5 keys to building muscle like an Avenger.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I watched it, listened, and it really resonated with me. And I thought, man, you know what? This all makes sense. And really, it seems so simple, right? Not to say it's simple, but it just seemed, simple to take in. And, the basic lifts, meeting a certain amount of poundage and, overload, and you grow. So then I caught a couple more of your videos, a couple of podcasts. And finally, I logged on to the site, Kinobody. I took the survey. When I was taking the survey, I'm thinking, okay, it'll definitely be Greek god or superhero, but no, it told me, hey man, you need to be a warrior. So I got on the program. I signed up for the program, and honestly, it was an easy read. I think it was like about 100 pages, not a huge book, but easy to follow, easy to understand. And literally a couple of days later, I was set to go. And, the first couple of days on intermittent fasting, it was a little tough, holding out until 12, 1 o'clock without eating, because, you're used to, I'm an early bird, so I was used to getting up at 5:30, 6 a.m., and the first thing I do is eat, because, the old school mentality, hey, if you don't eat when you wake up, man, your muscles are going to shrink, right? You're going to go catabolic, which I guess is a total myth. But yeah, I got through it the first couple of days, and man, I'm loving it. I broke my fast before I got on with you. I had a nice big meal. I had a big pile of potato wedges, some tilapia, some Greek yogurt. I filled up, feeling good,
I
and
love.
yeah, I'll be staying full until the next meal, so no cravings in between. But like I said, when I posted on Facebook last week, I was just I got on the scale. So I'm not a guy who weighs himself every week or every couple of days. When I got on that scale and saw the 15-pound drop, man, I was pretty excited. So I had to share the news. So I got on the Beachbody or the Beach Ripped site and posted my news, and I got a great response from everyone. I was actually pretty amazed how many people responded to to my little story there. A lot of positive feedback, and inspires me and keeps me motivated to get down to my goal weight of 200 pounds. So we'll get there. Give me a couple more weeks.
I mean, you're looking lean and solid right now, man. What are you weighing it now?
This morning I was about 206. I've only dropped a pound since last week, so I guess it's going to slow down a bit.
That's good. But your strength, you've had good results on the lifts.
Yeah. And I'm amazed at my weight at chin-ups. I mean, I'm a 200+ pound guy, and to be able to strap 75 pounds around the waist and take it up blew my mind when I even got to that weight.
That's amazing. And you know what? There's probably a lot of guys that they're going to listen to this that are, they're not 20 somethings. Like, oh, I can't do weighted chin-ups, Like, how old are you, Ed?
I'm 45.
45 and doing 70-pound chin-ups. I mean, there's really no excuse. There's no excuses for people listening.
It really isn't, and that's the thing, So I'm in the business world. I'm in sales, and I see too many guys around me, too many people around me, and even guys in their 30s, and they're letting themselves go. I'll give credit to some guys. They're heading to the gym. They're trying to get it done, but they're just not following the proper protocol, or they don't have the proper information. They go to the gym, they hit the treadmill for 30 minutes, they do the elliptical for another 30 minutes, and that's it, So, they need to learn how to dial in the nutrition, the training, lift heavy, man, get into the weights. That's the other thing. I am going to start doing some more cardio, but the 15 pounds came off with minimal cardio. It was simply the program was the jolt I needed, So if I had a little more cardio, no doubt I'll get to that 200 pounds in no time.
I mean, even just seeing that 1 pound a week is solid. Because I kind of crafted the warrior shredding program, so you could actually kind of achieve a nice proportionate physique as you lean down. So it's not going to be like the 2-3 pounds of fat loss a week. It's like the 1 pound, but like your body's improving and everything.
Right.
That's what you've kind of experienced. Has anyone been like, Ed, dude, you're like 45, like your physique is changing, man. What are you taking?
Well, people are noticing. Quite honestly, I met up with a friend last weekend for lunch, and I hadn't seen her in about 7 weeks, and that's not all that far back. And in the face, she noticed it right away. And I was wearing a button-down long-sleeve shirt, so she couldn't see anything else. But yeah, she noticed it. She's like, "Man, you're dropping weight," and yeah, no doubt about it, I am. And people are noticing. People are noticing.
And so what were your experiences like with intermittent fasting? Like, how about now? Like, how is the fasting going?
I'm loving it. I really am. A cool story going back a couple of weeks ago. We had our Canadian Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah.
Intermittent fasting, perfect approach. So I did break my fast at my usual time, but I went very light. Normally I go the first 2 meals are the large meals, and my last meal at the end of the night is the smaller meal. But I sort of did it reverse. I had the smaller meal. Then Thanksgiving dinner, man, I had double helpings of everything, 2 pieces of pie, all within my macros, all within my calories, no problem, man. And people couldn't believe it. You're at the dinner table and you're just thinking, man, look at this guy, eating away, and how does he stay so lean?
It's the best thing ever, and it's this incredible feeling when you absolutely feel so satisfied. You've had all that food you want. You're like, you know what? I still hit my calories. Absolutely. I'm still going to wake up a bit leaner.
Yeah.
And it's like cracking the code kind of, because, as you know from before, like your previous experience, it's like, okay, if I'm going to wake up a bit leaner, I'm going to be hungry today. And I'm going to, it's not going to be fun.
No, it's not. And in fact, I think back, I've seen some of your podcasts, with various different people. And yeah, you talk about, eating the 6 to 7 small meals, and you're constantly hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you take in a little bit, you wait it out 2-3 hours, but you're hungry with, you know, throughout the entire time. You can't wait to get that next bite in your mouth. And that's just not happening, you know.
Right.
I wake up, I do exactly as the program states, you know, hydrate, drink some water, start getting into my coffee, my black coffee, and I'm loving it. You know, what can I tell you? I have no problem hitting my 1 o'clock target, and sometimes I'll go over the 1 o'clock, you know, breaking my fast, and without a problem. It's like, holy shit, it's, you know, almost 2 o'clock. I gotta eat.
So what are your favorite meals, you know, for the small meal, the big meals? People listening, the way I set it up is, you know, you're fasting, you know, you might have like a big lunch, dinner, and then some small snack to kind of throw in there at some time. So what do you like to do for the big meal, small meal kind of thing?
Well, you know, I'm still, you know, even before I got into your videos and your information, I was always big on potato wedges, so that's a good thing.
Okay, awesome, yeah.
Everybody's into potato wedges, so you know what? My lunch just before I got on the call with you, I literally had 300 grams of tilapia baked, 300 grams of potato wedges. I used the Kinobody recipe, so
Nice.
great. And I had a couple of little containers of Greek yogurt, and man, I was stuffed. So I think definitely fish, chicken. I don't mind eating beef. You know, I'll have a good burger every so often, but I'd say potatoes are definitely a staple with me. And you know, I still get into the bread too. Quite honestly, I know a lot of people. It's sort of iffy whether people eat bread or not, but yeah, I don't mind having a nice ciabatta bun or baguette. So I get it in there.
Yeah, cool.
I think before bed, I'm definitely into the cottage cheese, and I'll have the Chapman's yogurt as well. You know,
so, Chapman's frozen
ice cream yogurt. Yeah,
isn't it amazing with the chocolate chips and everything?
Yeah. Maple walnut. I've had the maple walnut, the butter pecan, and now I'm on to the strawberry. That's good stuff.
Yes, that's cool. Actually, I was gonna. Are you ever eating out? Does that happen like once a week? Or, yeah. And how do you handle when you eat out on the program?
You know what? Again, so I'm a big believer. I know some people will eyeball it. I have my app with me. I have my iPhone. I'm pretty good at eyeballing. I do track all my macros, all my calories. So you know what? If I've got that large chicken breast, into the app it goes. If I got a pile of potatoes and some rice, into the app it goes. So I track it. I really do. I know, Greg. You're definitely you've got the eyeball for it, but I'm not quite there yet. So I continue to track it. But eating out, no problem. No problem at all.
Okay, good. Because that's always like, you know, that's good to hear that, you know, you're still able to have that freedom, go out and, you know, make sure you get that progress. And I tracked for a few years, and then I started to kind of play around with just kind of eyeballing it. And then I kind of just slowly got to the point where I am conscious of what I'm taking in, but I don't put it into my phone. So it's like, it's not like, you know, people might listen, they might be like, oh, like Gregor just eats whatever he wants. It's like, no, I'm conscious that I'm around this number, 2,200. And then if over the course of the next few days, I'm like, okay, actually, I'm starting to lose definition, this and that. I'm like, okay, I got to tighten it up.
Right.
And I also have days where I know exactly what I'm getting. It's like, okay, you know, if I'm having the same diet day as something I've already tracked before, I'm like, okay, that's 2,100. I'll do that. Like, and I'll have a couple days that are perfectly dialed in. And then I'll have like the other days where it's like kind of in the ballpark, you know. But yeah, it's good.
And that happens. You know, I think we all have a favorite meal, right? So you know, it's stuck up here no matter what. But like I said, I like to look at the end of the day. I like to look at the app, look at my total macros, look at my total calories, and it's all good.
Yeah. How's your hunger been? Because you've been eating at a deficit to drop fat. Have you had a lot of hunger or?
I haven't, honestly. I haven't. I really haven't. You know, it's like I told you, it's incredible. You know, and that the thing is too, the old school mentality, right? Don't eat in the evening. Don't eat at night, right? I'm eating at 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed feeling good, feeling satiated. So I'm not going to bed hungry. So no, and like I said, I tend to wake up in the morning a little hungry, but again, I take in a couple of glasses of water, some coffee, and I'm good to go. So, and it's incredible. I don't really know the science behind coffee, you know, fighting back hunger, but I don't know if it's psychological or what, but it works. It works.
It definitely works. Yeah, coffee, the caffeine just, blunts appetite, helps definitely get more fat cells into the bloodstream. And it kind of works hand in hand. A lot of the things that intermittent fasting does, increasing norepinephrine, increasing fat mobilization, coffee really helps as well. And like coffee is really best in that fasted state. And you put those two together and it's like magic. Also, have you tried sparkling water?
All the time.
It helps, eh?
It does. I always was. Yeah, there you go. I was always a fan of sparkling water, so it wasn't a problem. But yeah, I'll take in a bottle of sparkling water throughout the day.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've been drinking sparkling water every day for a long time, and for whatever reason, I had no sparkling water one day. And I was like, shit, this is harder. This is harder. Europe's got it right, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy cow. I couldn't even imagine being in your shoes.
All right. Well, I think we covered some really cool stuff. Is there any final notes that you want to leave people with as far as like, let's say, you know, they're thinking about doing it or they're not sure if it's right for them? Like, is there anything like, you know, that you want to leave people with?
You know, again, I was at a point where I tried everything. Like I said, I had an online coach and fitness trainer, and you know they don't come cheap, right? And knowledgeable guy, but at the same time, I couldn't sustain the program that he provided. And like I said, tried it all. I've always been a pretty strong guy, but being able to dial in nutrition and really have the physique I want, that's where I'm headed now. So you know, I'm in my mid-40s, and I think everyone has to give it a try. You know, again, Greg, I said in my Facebook post, you know, I think part of the reason I may have stayed away from your programs, you know, maybe I thought the whole age factor, I thought, well, you know, this guy's only 22, 23, and I've been reading up, you know, information from guys who are, you know, renowned fitness coaches, and you know what, man, I give you credit. I mean, you've put together a program that for me, it worked instantly, you know, and you know, I'm not trying to stroke your ego, but for me, it worked. It worked. Again, I'm in my mid-40s. You know, my metabolism isn't what it used to be when I was in my 20s or 30s. My T levels, who knows? They could be lower as well. But no, you give the program a shot, guys. Take the survey. If you're looking to lean down, I'll tell you, the program works. Previously, my waist size was over 36 inches. I'm now below 34. So I want to get down to that 33 as well. So again, the 200-pound target weight and the 33-inch waist. Those are my targets.
Perfect. Because how tall are you? You're
6'2".
Yeah, so 6'2" and a 33-inch waist is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's proportional. Your waist is to the height. Someone that's 5'7" isn't gonna need a smaller waist. But dude, that's so cool, man. I really like what you said about like I actually kind of did an email a post about this. It's like, you know, you'd think that like, you know, there's these guys that are in their 30s and 40s, been doing this for decades and decades. They're renowned. Who's this 20-something-year-old that's come on the scene that says he's got something?
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm just saying, try it. Like you're,
that's it. You know what? You got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. So,
yeah. So
that's my message.
So the survey that Ed was talking about, that's at kinobody.com/survey. You can take the survey and it'll help me teach you kind of what direction you need to go in, what programs will be best for you. So that's always helpful. I actually created that survey because I get the same question over and over again. Greg, do I need a bulk? Do I need a cut? Should I do warrior? Should I do Greek god? And I get these questions. I couldn't keep up with them. I'm like, let me just, instead of answering the same question 1,000 times or like the 6 different questions 1,000 times, let me put this survey together so I can put people into these different categories and then talk to them specifically. So that's at kinobody.com/survey. Dude, thank you so much for coming on the call. It's been amazing. Yeah, sweet.
Hey, thanks for having me on the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.